New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
Well, good evening to everyone across the United States and also around the world. It is time once again for another fun-filled, thrill-packed, and always guaranteed exciting edition of the Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. I am Pastor Michael Mangus, and I am broadcasting this evening from the super secret radio room, surrounded, and I mean surrounded, by thousands of watts in a secure concrete bunker somewhere around Akron, Ohio, that is so top secret that only Diego Reyes, and I may tell Cynthia, because I need to let someone else know where I'm at. I may tell Cynthia Henderson this evening, but we'll see. But again, so top secret that I will not tell the Reverend Robert Brzezinski, our Chief Inspirational Officer, where the super secret concrete bunker is located. All right. Good to see everyone this evening. We do have a wonderful show for you planned. And again, if you would like to let us know that you're watching, you can go ahead and go on comments on either StreamYard or Facebook, or for all my shy people out there, you can send me an email, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to answer your letter. Again, it's kind of hard when I'm producing. I'm doing this alone this evening. We had to move up our broadcast time so that we can get our guest on, but that's okay. Diego is down the hallway. If you go down the hallway, to the left is the lunchroom. To the right is the legal department. Diego's in production on the left side, right beyond the snack area. That's where he's running the controls for a great show that's on before ours. It's called And Now the Good News. So if you'd like to get in contact with me, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. We have a wonderful guest this evening. And again, we're recording early so that we can have her with us tonight. Fresh from her meditation at the Professional Nonprofits Association, where she did lead a wonderful meditation on self-care, is Cynthia Henderson. She is a 30-plus year practitioner of meditation. She teaches meditation and also stress reduction techniques online and in person. And we will be talking with Cynthia in the second half of the program about self-care. I know that some of you are very unfamiliar with that. Okay, so that's why we're talking about it this evening. This is her wonderful website, meditatewithcynthia.com, meditatewithcynthia.com. Lots of good things we'll be talking about this evening here on the New Thought Media Network. Well, again, I'd like to wish everyone a happy April Fool's Day. I hope everyone got through it without too many pranks being pulled on them. I always remember my birthdays from elementary school. It's real easy. Okay. On April Fool's Day, April the 1st, it's my friend Pat's birthday. And it was a very appropriate birthday date because he is an April Fool all year round. Okay. The 2nd of April was the birth date of my first real crush in elementary school, and that was Debbie. Debbie has her date on the 2nd. Guess who has his birth date on the 3rd? Happy birthday, Pastor Mangus. How nice. Thank you, Master Control. That's nice of you to put that up there. And you know, Easter's 2 weeks away. Do you believe that? 2 weeks from Sunday? Wow. Now we're still getting snow here in northeastern Ohio, and that is not an April Fool's prank here. So the no snow alert for Ohio has not been issued yet for my friends in California to visit here. Our crack weather team, though, from the New Thought Media Network, will be the first to issue the no snow all clear alert for all California residents so that they can visit the Buckeye State without experiencing the white stuff or ice or any of that stuff. My friends from California say, we like snow, but we like it up in the mountains so that we can ski. I always tell them we're tough metaphysicians here in Ohio and on the East Coast. Well, best thoughts and wishes to all of my fellow classmates who will be taking their capstone exams over the next several weeks at Holmes Institute. That is the senior exams for ministerial school. Special thanks to my guardian angel, the lovely, beautiful, and talented Laura Topper, for all of her help in helping me get ready for the last 5 tests. Now, don't tell Reverend Robert this, okay? This is our secret here. And Cynthia, you too, don't tell Reverend Robert this, okay? You promise? Yeah, I can see you in the background. Yeah, okay. Don't tell Reverend Robert that I'm applying for grad school again. Okay, so don't tell him. I had a wonderful conversation with a dean this week. And so, yeah, I may be going back to school here. So anyhow, again, good to see everyone this evening. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Pastor Michael Mangus with you. Let's go into the news here. And first, we're checking in with all of our friends here in the Ukraine. Some 2,000 civilians who left the besieged port city of Mariupol are on buses to another Ukrainian city. Attempts are being made to open further evacuation corridors on Friday, and more than 100,000 people remain trapped in Mariupol, officials say. Now, Mariupol, again, the Russian troops have been lobbing a lot of artillery fire into that city. If you have seen any of the pictures on CNN or other news networks, you'll see the bombed out places that they have in that city. A fire did break out at a fuel depot in Belgorod, which is a Russian city near the Ukrainian border, which the regional governor says was caused by an airstrike by a Ukrainian helicopter. CNN was unable to verify the claim. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says that he has removed 2 generals for being anti-heroes who did not support their homeland. He did not give any more specifics. And also, the NATO chief warned that Russian forces are not withdrawing, but are repositioning as they maintain pressure on Kyiv and other cities. This is what was reported by Ukrainian and also U.S. officials. Russians may be regrouping in Belarus, as Moscow also appears to be redirecting military efforts to the Donbass region. It's interesting if you look at a map of the Ukraine, again, of these areas that I'm talking about. The other thing in the news this week that I found pretty interesting, the director of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, remember those guys? Back in the 70s and 80s, the director of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant says it was impossible to determine the degree of radiation that Russian troops were exposed to while occupying the territory. In a statement, the state-owned operator of the Ukraine nuclear power plant said this: on the territory of the station itself, the occupiers did not dig anything, but the thick dust raised by passing vehicles and the radiation particles in it may have entered the body of the Russian soldiers through the lungs. It is unclear whether the Russian troops were doing an encampment in the so-called Red Forest, which is a contaminated area, and it is possible that they could have received significant radiation exposure while digging or entrenching there, according to the statement. Chernobyl is the site of the world's worst nuclear disaster. I remember listening to the news on NPR back in the 70s. Chernobyl fell into the hands of Russian troops in the first week of the war in the Ukraine. It was said on Thursday that Russian troops had withdrawn from the plant and its territory. So from the news reports, it seems that the Ukrainian army and armed forces are holding their own against the invading Russian army. Our part as spiritually awake individuals is to still know peace for that region. Our practitioners here in the United States have been reporting hearing air raid sirens while praying with our brothers and sisters in the Ukraine. And again, bringing about peace is Universal Mind's job, God's job, not ours. All we need to know, again, is that spiritual essence of peace and know that it's taking place now, right now. And personally, I need to get rid of, and have been getting rid of, any hatred or unforgiveness in my heart. As the song says, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. So right now, let's pray the prayer of protection over the Ukraine. So let's know together that the light of God surrounds them, that the love of God enfolds them, the power of God protects them. The presence of God watches over them wherever they are. God is, and all is well. Well, hi there. Welcome. How you doing this evening? This is a pre-recorded edition of the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. I am Pastor Michael Mangus. In just a few moments, we'll be having on Meditation Teacher Cynthia Henderson, and a friend of the Reverend Dr. Charlotte Manning, who about a month ago made her transition. And I know she'll have a few thoughts to say about our friend, and also a few thoughts to talk about a subject which I know that many of you are still dealing with, and that is self-care. I know that some of you are saying, what the heck is that? Well, we will find out in a few moments from Cynthia Henderson here on the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Okay, all week long, we've been hearing about the slap heard around the world as people are still speculating what would cause Will Smith to slap comedian Chris Rock after telling a joke about his wife that he first laughed at. I'm not going to read all of this article, but this is an opinion piece from CNN. It says, why experts say that Will Smith's Oscars act of love is dangerous. Love will make you do crazy things, and that's what Will Smith said during his Oscar acceptance speech at Sunday's Academy Awards ceremony. That shouldn't include resorting to violence, said Joel Wong, who is the professor and chair of the Counseling and Educational Philosophy Department at Indiana University, Bloomington. Smith rushed the stage and slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars for making a joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, and her closely shaved head. Not long after the incident happened, Smith was back on stage accepting the Best Actor award and attempted to justify his actions by saying that love made him do it and that he was protecting his family. His wife, Jada, suffers from hair loss due to alopecia. When a man who embodies unhealthy masculine behaviors like violence sees a family member being attacked, he often takes it as a personal affront to his honor, Wong says. He also said, family, especially your spouse, is seen as an extension of yourself. So therefore, insulting your wife or insulting your children would be viewed equally as threatening as insulting to yourself. In Smith's case, 15.3 million Oscar viewers around the world saw his response. And again, it goes on about maybe different psychological attitudes that maybe or maybe not that Smith has, including shame and guilt and other things. The macho mentality is deeply rooted in our society, so it will take time to unlearn, Dr. Wong says. He says, when a man lashes out in violence, he may think that more men approve of his behavior than they actually do. In reality, most people do not believe that men should be aggressive, according to a 2020 study that Dr. Wong went ahead and said and quoted. And one of the most critical steps to begin the cultural shift is for bystanders to condemn the violent acts known as positive bystander behavior. I wanted to read this because this was an expert that was quoted locally. It says, male honor culture and masculine norms have often are conditioned in young boys over time, so the solution needs to start there, said Dr. Ronald Levant, who is professor emeritus of psychology at the University of Akron here in my hometown. When men are young boys, they are taught not to cry or show emotions. The good doctor said, he says, people such as teachers, coaches, and other caregivers need to give careful consideration to the message that they are sending boys about how to be a man. Grown-ups need to teach young boys how to be vulnerable and use their words in a conflict rather than use their fist, he, again, said this expert. And those are the kind of conversations that lead us towards a society where men and women are free to experience a full range of emotions that's not likely to overcompensate for the lack of access with violence. All right, overall now, there are other ways that Will Smith could have responded, including talking to Chris Rock backstage and saying, hey, dude, you need to apologize to Jada. Responding with violence should never be the first reaction to an attack. In the martial arts, we're taught to walk away from a fight if at all possible, and to fight only if we have to for self-defense. There is a big difference between reacting and responding. And I can tell you that I had to learn the hard way. And over the years, because of meditation practice, I have developed an observer self, which when I'm getting into an emotional state will kind of tell me, hey, breathe here. What is the best response? Again, as with the situation in Ukraine, violence has become an outmoded way of dealing with conflict. And personally, this is what happened. Will Smith was laughing at the joke, and then he looked over and he saw how hurt Jada was, and then went ahead and took action. And again, the situation could have been handled a lot differently than slapping a well-known comedian on stage during the Oscars for telling a joke that wasn't cleared first by the producers on the show. Now, I was talking with another show host on this network this week, and his response was this. He said, Michael, he said, if we were in that same situation, we may react in the same way. And I thought about that, and personally, I know that today I am much less likely to respond with anger and violence compared to 20 years ago. And it reminded me of a situation that I got reminded of during meditation today. Happened a long time ago. Two neighbors were yelling at each other in the front of my house about something. I forget what the fight was about. I think it was the two wives. I don't know. Instead of getting into a fight, I remember the husband getting 2 beers out of the refrigerator, going across the street to the other man and offering him a beer. They were able to talk it out without resorting to violence. That's something we need to teach our young men, is how to do that. How to go to the refrigerator and offer a beer to someone that we really don't like, but again, to talk about the situation. Something to think about. Well, hi there, welcome. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Pastor Michael Mangus with you in just a few moments. We'll be having on board here meditation expert and teacher Cynthia Henderson, who will be telling us more about self-care, how to do that. I know some of you have no clue how to do that because you're busy taking care of other people. I know that. Been there, done that, have the t-shirt. Our last article tonight, and again, I won't read it all, but Pope apologizes to Indigenous people of Canada. And Pope Francis has apologized for the Catholic Church's role in the abuse of Canada's Indigenous people, particularly in residential schools. Speaking to Canadian Indigenous leaders on Friday in the Vatican, the Pope said that he feels sorrow and shame for the role that a number of Catholics, particularly those with educational responsibilities, have had in all of these things that have wounded you, in the abuses that you have suffered, and in the lack of respect shown for your identity, your culture, and even your spiritual values. All of these things are contrary to the gospel of Jesus Christ, and for the deplorable conducts of these members of the Catholic Church, I ask God's forgiveness, and I want to say to you with all of my heart that I am very sorry. The Pope continued, and I join my brothers, the Catholic bishops, in asking your pardon. This is what Pope Francis also told the representatives of the First Nations, that he will visit Canada sometime in the near future. He said, I will be happy to benefit again from meeting you when I visit your native lands where your families live. I won't come in the winter, he said. So I will close by saying until we meet again in Canada, where I will be able to better express to you my closeness. Indigenous leaders have long called for a papal apology for the harm inflicted for decades on Indigenous children. And last year, hundreds of unmarked graves were discovered on the grounds of the former residential school in British Columbia and also in other parts of Canada. The Canadian Truth and Reconciliation Commission has reported more than 4,000 Indigenous children died either from neglect or abuse in residential schools, and many of them were run by the Catholic Church. Last year, the Canadian Conference of Catholic Bishops apologized for its role in the residential school system and expressed profound remorse, but Indigenous leaders have long called for an apology from the Pope. And if you also remember that last year and also this year is that there have been arson fires on Catholic churches near Indian reservations in Canada. On Monday, the Pope met with Indigenous leaders and also survivors of the residential schools. At the Vatican, some of the largest Indigenous groups in Canada urged Pope Francis to travel to their country to apologize. There have been a number of those schools here in the United States also guilty of the abuse and also murder of Native children. And I think another sin to repent of is the sin of denying Indigenous people the right to practice their native religion because it wasn't Christian. It was considered pagan or rural. So just because their religion wasn't our religion, again, it wasn't until like 1976 until tribes in the United States were allowed to practice their religion. Even we here in Centers for Spiritual Living have taken our teaching to other countries, but it is to share our powerful teaching and not to force our Western culture on anyone. So that is why I support the training of Native ministers and also practitioners to teach new thought in their own way. Centers for Spiritual Living currently has several practitioners in the Holmes Institute Ministerial Program from Kenya. And earlier this year, 6 practitioners were paneled in Ukraine. Well, that's all the news that's fit to print. Yes, as the millions cheer. Well, hi there. Welcome. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Pastor Michael Mangus. Let's go to some announcements. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back with my special guest this evening, Meditation Teacher Cynthia Henderson. And we're going to have a good time this evening. We're going to be talking about self-care. And again, for some of you, I think that's a foreign subject. So we're going to talk about that this evening. Many people in New Thought are caregivers, natural caregivers. And the challenge with that is sometimes we give and give and give and give and give, and then don't take care of ourselves. So we're going to talk to Cynthia about this here in just a few moments. All right, to our announcements this evening. Yours truly is currently parking himself at Summit CSL. For more information, go to summitcsl.org. There you will find all kinds of information about our wonderful Sunday gatherings. It's online, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time. Grab your cup of coffee, your tea, your espresso, your chai, your boba tea, and please join us. We do have one of the best services. I do believe in New Thought because there's a balance of music, a balance of message, and a balance of meditation. And this Sunday, we'll start our new series on resurrection. So go on to summitcsl.org for more information on how to join our Zoom call. Our service is also simulcast on the Summit Spiritual Center of Akron Facebook page. And our Facebook page also has past broadcast of the Fireside Chat and also yours truly when he's doing prayer here on the New Thought Media Network. Again, if I started to tell you the whole schedule, I would put Cynthia to sleep naturally, okay? So just go on our website, okay? Go on ntmedia.org. And there you will find a complete schedule of all of our activities here. And again, I'm in pre-production with certain people who I cannot mention. They know who I'm talking about. But we're still working on that. And again, the whole idea again is to have individuals exposed to and have them practice this powerful spiritual teaching that we call New Thought. So we ask for your donations. And when you donate to change the world. That's what happens. You have that good feeling of giving, but also that you have that good feeling of knowing that your contribution goes to change lives around the world. We get cards and letters and emails from all over the planet. And again, yours truly is planning on other ways of getting the message out to other areas that do not have internet service. We're still missing a big part of the world's population. So join us, please. ntmedia.org/donate. You can give a one-time gift, or you may do as I do every single month, and that is that every single month, there's a designated amount that goes from my account into the account of New Thought Media Network. When we have giving like that, what happens is that we're able then to have budgets. We're able to hire people. We're able to, again, to know where the money's coming from and when. So again, it really, really helps us when you do that. So go to ntmedia.org/donate. We always appreciate that very, very much. Okay. Time for a break. All right. And we'll be right back with Meditation Teacher Cynthia Henderson. This is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network.
Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, for your continued support. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, for your monthly contribution. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for your monthly contribution. And please help us welcome Om Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, California. Thank you for your monthly donation. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, for your most generous donation. And a special thanks to Hefferlin Foundation for your generous technology grant. And Suze Ajit, thank you for your very generous donation. And a super special thank you to Dr. Tracy Brown, RSCP. Thanks for being a super donor. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.
Views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
And thank you very much. It is our pleasure to introduce to you Cynthia Henderson. She is a divine light meditator initiated at Oneness University in India. She's also certified as a mindfulness meditator and also a teacher by the School of Positive Transformation. She's also a master's certified facilitator for Myers-Briggs. And she also recently completed, talk about name dropping, Dr. Deepak Chopra's certification in primordial sound meditation. You'll have to explain to us about that. And she was also a close friend to my friend, the late Reverend Dr. Charlotte Manning. It is my pleasure to introduce to you my friend, Cynthia Henderson. Good evening. Welcome to New Thought Media Network.
Good evening, and thank you so much. So happy to be here. It is my honor to be with you today.
Thank you so very much, and thanks for being on early. I know you have commitments in the evening, so thanks for being with us. So share with us a special memory of our friend, Dr. Manning.
Oh, Dr. Charlotte Manning, just, because of our thinking, our thought process, and our spiritual growth and evolvement, we sometimes don't look at the death as actually leaving the planet, just a transition, because we know the energy can't be created or destroyed. So I feel the energy not present physically, but I feel her energy is all around. She is in a lot of the things that I do, because we did a lot of things together, especially for meditations. And when it's time to do it, I think, okay, Charlotte, where are you? And I just start having a conversation with her. And I'm reminded that my father, before he made his transition, we lived in two different states, and I felt very connected and attached to him. And when he made his transition, I realized that I could not physically touch him anymore, but that didn't mean I didn't have and feel his presence and his energy, and I still did. So I just happened to start thinking of the transition from that perspective. Like, I can call her up at any time I want to. We can have a conversation about anything we want to have a conversation about. As a matter of fact, she's not physically present, but she has access to more information than we do. So like, well, let's just look at how do we work together to get this done? You just can't be physically present, and I can't hear the voice in terms of pick up the phone and call you, but I can run those tapes in my head that are going from everything she said. So you know what? I just feel it as it's all good woman. So you need to know that too. I find the good in everything, and it took me a minute to find the good in this. I'm like, okay, what's good about this guy? Well, wait, what good? Show it to me. Hurry up, show it to me. It took me about a day. Like, okay, just keep on.
I've had moments like that too, because I had some issues with individuals with the Facebook page. I'm not going to go into them, but I said, okay, Charlotte, what do you want me to do here? And I hear her say, well, Roadman. She says, you need to pick your battles.
Yes, doesn't she talk to you? She does.
Yeah, she says she's not Roadman, because she called me a Roadman because I was I got her into places where, again, that she in like different churches and places that I was able to help her get into. And yeah, she said, oh, no, Roadman, you just gotta pick your battles. And I said, okay. So I feel a presence too. So it's really,
and it really helps to think about it in terms of, so how do we see things? Is it all what we see right in front of us, or where's the faith that we say we have, and where's the belief that we say we have, and do we really, really, really believe that, and we really did feel that? And if so, this is the time to practice it. It's like, okay, so okay, she's not physically present, but she's here, she's all around, so I'm good.
Yeah. We're talking this evening here on the New Thought Media Network on the Friday Evening Fireside Chat. We're talking with the wonderful, beautiful, talented Cynthia Henderson. Again, meditatewithcynthia.com is her wonderful website. And so please talk to us about self-care. What is it? And how can we start taking care of ourselves rather than taking care of everyone else in our view, which a lot of New Thought people do?
Good question. Oh, and I'm so clear that the pandemic showed us some things that we may need to look at, the lessons we learned and gained from that. And one of them in particular is about self-care and the reality that tomorrow is not promised to anybody. And how do we approach each day? And how do we value each day? And how do we understand each day as a gift that we're all given? And self-care is really just us committing to taking an active role in our care, our physical, emotional, mental well-being, and really taking an active part in making sure that we safeguard what's important to us and to set up boundaries when we need to. It's okay to be the yes, yes, yes person and go, go, go person, setting to someone else's standards. And we all let other people decide for us how our lives should be and how we should be operating within that versus what do we need to do and how do we need to be. And when is our body saying, I need enough, I've had enough, I need some rest, I need to go and do something to change the thought pattern in my brain, I need to be engaged in some other activity. And so often we don't do that and we don't recharge ourselves. And I have this famous thing that Charlotte used to laugh at me about, but is recharge yourself like you recharge your cell phone. We recharge our cell phones every single day. Not one of us goes without recharging the cell phones. It's like, oh, that's a ritual. We didn't have them 20 years ago, but now we got to recharge them every night or whenever the battery's getting low. Make sure you're not without it. Make sure you don't leave home without it. But what kind of energy are we giving to our self-care? We recharge that phone, but we don't recharge ourselves. So for me, the opportunity is to look at, so what does it mean to recharge yourself? Where is that? Because nobody gives you the handbook for that. So where is it written? What do you need to do to recharge yourself? And I just got to share, for me, my go-to thing is meditation. I absolutely love it. And the more I have been doing it, oh my goodness, I have been seeing things manifest because I got clarity. I could focus better. I was more in tune with who I was, where I was, what it was all about. I was aware of the messages I was getting. I was more in alignment. And all of that came through just being still and listening. Because, we talk nonstop. And so when are you going to listen? And that's what meditation has done for me. The journaling is also a great way of just taking care of yourself. If you need to go for walks or run or exercise, or if you like cooking, or if you like gardening, all of that can be a form of meditation or self-care. And how do you do that so that you are not just pushed to the limit by a schedule that somebody else is imposing on you and you are saying yes to? And so here's the operative thing is you said yes to it. It had to get on your schedule. It did not just appear on there. You had to agree to it. And so if you agree to put it on, you also have to agree to block time for you. What are your boundaries? And some of us get hung up on, oh, but they need me. Oh, but I got to do this. Oh, I got to do this. That's nice. But you also got to take care of yourself.
And
are you committed to it or not?
And if you take care of yourself, they may use the S word. They may say that you're selfish. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you take time out for you? We need you to cook. We need you to do this. We need you to do that. No.
Yes,
I remember working with addicts, with addicted women, and they would say, well, how can we schedule time for prayer and meditation during the day? And we used to tell them, what you do is you go into the bathroom.
That's it. That's the place.
You go ahead and you lock the door.
That's it.
You get out your meditation books and you have some time alone. Yes, they will knock on the door, but ignore them. You need your time. I know when people come to me about stress reduction, or they come to me and say, "Oh, Pastor Mangus, I'm just so stressed, blah, blah, blah." The first thing I ask them is, how much time do you give daily to prayer meditation? And if they say, well, I don't, I say, that's the first place we need to take a look at. I was talking with a pastoral counselor a few years back, and she did a lot of work with pastors, with ministers. And that's one of the first questions that she would ask. She would say, how long during your day have you been doing devotions? Have you been taking time out to be with God? And again, 9 times out of 10, because that they were under a lot of stress and pressure, that had gone out the door.
Yes.
So those are the kind of things I think that we need to be taking a look at, so that we have the energy to be able to serve other people. If our battery is so depleted, and this is one of the reasons I think a lot of ministers are leaving the profession here.
Well, they burn out. Exactly.
They're absolutely burning out because of that. They're not putting themselves first as far as with the relationship to God and the relationship also with their family. Go ahead.
So here's something I want to share, and this was if you used to fly a lot. Now get back into it. But when you get on a plane, they would say, okay, in case of emergency, you put the oxygen mask on yourself first, then you take care of everybody else. And the thinking behind that was, if you lose oxygen, you can't take care of everybody you're charged with or you have the responsibility for, because you're going to be out and they will need you. So you got to take care of you first, and then you can take care of everybody else. The same concept applies now, especially with people with your spiritual communities, that, you are pulled in so many different directions. Saying I can't, or no, or I need self-care may appear to be selfish, but it is not. It's called self-care. I can't be here for you if I'm no good. I've got to actually do it. But so here's the secret. We got to get past the guilt, because we have been conditioned to take care of everybody else first. We have, and if we do by chance take some time for ourselves, oh my goodness, you can't even enjoy it because you feel so guilty about it. You got to get past the guilt. Just get past the guilt. Give yourself permission. And here's what I advocate, especially for people in the spiritual community where you're pulled in so many different directions and you feel like you got to take care of everybody else. I really do encourage people to put time on their calendar. This is my non-negotiable time. Now, this is my sacred time. Whatever time you need to do it. Okay, you can't do that with folks who, if a death appears, you got to adjust for that. But other than that, that's about it. And you just hold it as sacred. This is my time. If you do it once a day, if you do it once a week, however often you do it, but that's your time. And the opportunity here is to be consistent with it. That's how you get it to be sustainable, so that you release the guilt, you release the anxiety, you can really enjoy it when you schedule it. And it's like, okay, I'm doing this for me, and really be consistent with it. I promise you'll see a difference.
And I think that people don't understand still, again, when you're just giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, and then you get all upset because you're saying, well, I'm giving, but no one's giving to me back. And the reason being is because that we have not learned to give to ourselves before we give to other people. So if you're wondering what you're watching this evening, hi there. This is the Friday evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network, fresh off of her appearance in front of 300 nonprofit professionals, leading them in meditation. Being in nonprofits for most of my life, I know that, again, a lot of people in those organizations, again, burn out.
They do.
Because, again, that they do not learn how to take time for themselves. Another part of self-care, and this was brought up to me during ministerial training here in the past few years. his ministers have come up to me and they said, Mike, he says, really important for you to take your days off,
Yes.
your vacation time,
Yes.
and also if you're offered a time of sabbatical,
Yes.
to go ahead and to recharge your batteries. So talk to us about the importance of that.
And that again is self-care. If you don't do it, you will burn out. And it is critical. It's not just important, it's critical, but the challenge is that here we go. And the person, the spiritual provider, in their mind, they have been conditioned to think and believe that they are absolutely essential. They have got to be there. They cannot take any time off. There is no room for, oh, I can't be here. Somebody else will do it. Or no, you got to let that go. And you got to have a good backup system in place so that all of the needs are taken care of. But you've got to really go and recharge. But that starts with your thinking. That is not something external. They've got to change their thinking. And once they change their thinking, the individuals, they can convince their boards or communities or whomever they have to influence. They can let them know and actually do it, but they got to convince themselves. But here's something I want to share. And that is because we're getting ready to go. We're coming out of the pandemic and we're getting ready to go back into in-person church services. A lot of places, if they haven't done it already. Here's something to realize. Congregations are full of fear. They're full of panic. They are not sure. They are so happy to reconnect again, but they don't know what your hygiene pattern has been like, if you're safe. And okay, so everybody came in here, was tested, but do I really know that you are safe and you're okay? There's this fear that was circling the planet for 2 years. The anxiety with that, and people weren't taking care of themselves. And now you're going back into this environment where, okay, we're just supposed to go back to how we were before. I just encourage people to really look at how do you become resilient now. It's not bouncing back into old habits. You got to bounce forward into something new. How are you going to do this differently? What did you learn from the pandemic? What did you learn from this whole experience? And how will you apply it so you can be your best possible self? And taking a sabbatical or your time off is absolutely a part of it, especially for the ones that had to figure out and negotiate. How are we going to do virtual services? How are we going to do this? How are we going to keep it running? How are we going to keep the money flowing? How are we going to do all of this? So you work triple time, and now you go from that back into the in-person. You need some time.
Well, again, I don't know if I told you this story, but I was telling this to another friend the other day. It's like we had I'll just use this book here. It's like we had a manual about yay thick, okay, that said how to do ministry. This manual has been tossed into the wood chipper, okay, and it's all over my backyard. So I think that we're all learning to ask the question now of what is my role in this new world. And I think one of the things that we all can take from the pandemic is that we had a lot of time to think. And so that how much of that time are you letting get back into your day-to-day schedule? Are you letting yourself have time to meditate? Are you letting yourself have time to read? Are you letting yourself even have time to think?
Yes.
Because most of the time, again, the psychologists say that we think anywhere between 40 and 60,000 thoughts a day. But the challenge is that most of the time is those thoughts are the same old thoughts. So to be able, again, to have times of meditation, the story I said about the guy going and getting the 2 beers and coming across the street, man, I didn't remember that for a long time, but again, came up to me during meditation. So again, the whole idea of stilling the mind, of allowing ourselves to breathe and to be. So I think that's very important. Go ahead.
I think that is essential. As you were talking on the show earlier about how do you handle conflict and how do you handle issues, just being able to breathe through it. You know, if you see something coming up or a situation coming up, and you feel it, that the energy rising in you. And so how do you handle the conflict? And to take a deep breath and to really go within and just get peaceful and centered. You'll get guidance as to what to do versus just react to it. But to look at, okay, let me just take a deep breath and let me just get grounded here. What is the best way to approach this? There are a lot of different ways to handle a lot of issues, but
Right.
the best approach comes when you stop and just breathe for a minute. And this does not cost money. This is just a simple practice of, let me just take it. First, you got to think it. Let me just stop and breathe and understand, how will I handle this situation? And I think that if we all do that, life will be a little easier and we wouldn't have the Oscar slap to talk about all over the planet.
Oh man, I'll tell you, again, I didn't want to talk about it, but I said, you know what, I need to, again, to approach things from a spiritual way. And I think that, again, you know, you learn from things like that. Tell us about some of the programs that you're doing and how do people get in touch with you?
Well, I am available. I do live meditations on Mondays at 12 noon on Facebook, and that's 12 noon Eastern time. And also on Thursdays, we have, let me back up. Mondays, it's just 15 minutes, and it's 15 minutes straight meditation only. And it is really designed to give you a pickup or transition from one point to the next point. If you're having an opportunity, like you're leaving a meeting and you're getting ready to go into something else, okay, just take a deep breath and decompress and shift. If you're getting ready to go home, you're leaving work and you go into your home environment and you need a moment, just take a deep breath, meditate for a moment and shift. So that meditation is great for that. But then also on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, it is happy half hour meditation, where we meditate for 15 minutes and then we have happy hour, but it's only a half hour. And
You mean, now hold on, stop. You mean you have adult beverages
yes,
after your meditation? Oh,
yes,
hey,
yes.
we're all in on that.
Yes. Or you can drink water, or you can drink tea or coffee,
Okay.
whatever you want to drink. I don't care what you drink. Jesus drank water and wine, and so
Fine.
did I. So Jesus turned water into wine. But I drink wine in honor of Jesus. I sure do. Just
That's
drink a
right.
little bit, but that's okay. So every Thursday, and people send in their comments in advance, or they write them in, and we talk about what's happening in the world and look at it from a spiritual perspective, but also from a perspective that's focused on how meditation can help you. That's what usually most of the questions are related to. And
Yes.
it's, how can I use meditation to help me be more calm, more peaceful? How I'd like to see less hate. How do you do that? So that's what we do. And also meditatewithcynthia.com, and LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube and Facebook.
All those wonderful places.
Yeah.
Cynthia Henderson, thank you so very much. Thank you for being a gift in my life. Thank you for helping me probably one of the rougher months of my life, and losing my buddy. And but you're right, she's still around. She's still around saying, hey, Roadman, you need to still do that and that.
Yeah. All you got to do is stop and listen to her. She is there. She's giving you all the guidance you need.
Cynthia Henderson, thank you so very much. And again, if you'd like more information about all the offerings that she has, meditatewithcynthia.com, and also all of her contact information is there. Thank you again. Blessings. And we will see you soon here. Thank you. So, hey, we got to go. Just to let you know that, again, that we are looking for people to partner with us here at New Thought Media Network. If you could please go to ntmedia.org/donate. There you can give a very generous donation to help us get the message out to the world. We are in pre-production with individuals to do meditation classes, for people to talk about the Course in Miracles and to teach the Course in Miracles, for people to teach metaphysics. We are working on that right now. And again, we ask for your support. Partner with us. Get this message out to the whole world. ntmedia.org/donate. All right, time for me to get on out of here. Good to see everyone this evening. We will be back here next Friday evening at 8 o'clock for another edition of the fun-filled, thrill-packed, and always exciting Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Pastor Michael Mangus saying have a wonderful week, and we'll see you later.
Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.